So, per the norm, I started without recording as usual. So started mocking up the front on this passenger side. So far, our fitment's pretty good. This part does line up when it actually is pressed into place, but it's pulling back right now. And then there's a little bit of a gap here, so I'm probably gonna have to do some kind of bracket to get that gap filled, or fill it. That probably not a bad idea to just fill it a little bit. We'll decide it though once we get to that point. But probably just as easy to just pull it in with a bracket on the back. So unfortunately, I opted out of getting the aftermarket hardware, so I'm going to be using the stuff that it came with, which is just a couple of riv nuts and these little Allen key screws and simple little washers. Oh, and I just lost one. We'll fish that out here in a minute. Anyways, of course, those washers don't do a very good job of lining up the holes, whereas like the actual like good hardware has these beauty washers that fit really nice into those channels. I'm gonna fish around my stuff and see if I got a washer that kind of fits that and use that as like a template for drilling out, and we'll use these washers for now until I pick up a different set of stuff. The rib nut should be fine as long as I get the right size screws. But we're gonna give her a go. Clean up the hood a little bit, some rubbing alcohol. There's still some tape and stuff left. My washer rags dye actually came out with rubbing alcohol and stuck to what was left of the tape. So you can see it turned yellow. We'll finish getting that later. Again, that's really not that important. Alright, I'm gonna get back to it. Corner one is on. So, had a couple of issues. First off, I'll start with, I went and bought some beauty-ish washers. I'm probably not going to go with these. I'm probably going to go with some flat washers. I'm not really... The screws aren't quite long enough for like this one. As you can tell, that's a normal screw there, or a non-washered one. So I'll probably end up just going flat. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but end up probably gonna go flat with them. Had a couple issues with some of the riv nuts. The one behind here, this one was my screw up. I accidentally bored the hole a little too big. This one, the hole is correct, but for whatever reason, the riv nut just popped right out. Same thing with this one. One thing is they're snug, but not snug enough. So the issue is the rivets have kind of a really thin flange there, so you don't have a whole lot of material to work with. So what's happening is whenever the rivet is basically compacted down, riveted, I guess the word, it's pushing, basically squeezing on the edges and just popping its way out. So I'm gonna look into a couple of wider flange rivets, riv nuts. I'm not super familiar with riv nuts. I've used them a couple times, but I don't know like specifics on if they make them to where they have the same thread diameter but have a wider flange for this issue. We'll see. Worst case, I just change that bolt size on a couple of them, or all of them, who knows. The other GoPro died, so I got it on the charge. This one died, so I had to swap batteries. The battery for it actually popped, but I've had these batteries for 5 years, so yeah. So it's mounted up on there. You can kind of see the line where it's got to be cut to clear. Like, it's really, because we're not planning on really lowering the car, so honestly, like, it's not going to take a whole lot of cutting to get it where it needs to be. But you can see all works good there, so pretty happy. Yeah, the issues I had were with hardware, not with the wide body kit at all. Wide body kit's been working out great. There's that slight gap I was talking about, but now everything's kind of down in there. It's actually really, it's not that, I mean, there is a gap obviously, but it's, once this is closed up, you'd have to be right on it to really notice it. But I'm not stressing it too much. Yeah, I'm really not stressing it that much. The rear is on. So I measured them, and from the tire to the outside on this one is 4 inches, and the tire to the outside on this one is 2.5 inches. It's looking pretty good. This side went significantly smoother. This hole here was a little stubborn, and this hole here was a little stubborn just because there's thicker steel there. This one will make you nervous if you do it, because it is right there. So make sure you open the door when you gotta screw that one. I did nick it just a little. Clean that up. Clean all of it up early. Check this out. Look at that sunset. See if we can get a cheeky angle here. Take that out. Yeah. That's like now you're blinded on me. Alright, so passenger side is done. I did decide what I'm going to do is I'm going to look into getting some I'm not sure they're called well rivets. Walnuts for sure they're called, which is basically like a rubber one. It'll go inside there, and as you tighten it, it basically expands on the edges because it's being crushed in, and it just basically conforms to the shape. So that should take care of those ones I have an issue with there. So I'm going to jump onto the other side. Not even going to bother doing a time lapse because it's the same thing. Essentially the process I do is I find 3 points, usually on the outsides and the middle, mark it, drill it with it all in place, pull it off, drill it the rest of the way, set the rib nut, get it all back assembled, bolted down, and then re-drill or drill all the other holes, and then finish getting it mounted. So far it's pretty good. I've seen other people say this too, but basically this one's not really in line here. I think I'll find a way to adjust that. What does that do? Still not quite there. If I trim this back edge, I bet that'll do it right there. If I trim that edge just a little, I bet that'll tuck in, and then it'll be in line. It's not too bad though. It's just a little bit. Not too bad though. Other than that, it looks great. Let's get a look at that with the hood down. Yeah. Alright. It is installed. Next week I'm going to be working on doing the cutting. I'm going to order some spacers because we're just going to use the stock rims for now. And then but yeah, that's that for this video. Yeah, the next video will be getting the cuts in here all taken care of, and spacers put on, the welding, and I got to build some extensions for the fender liners. But that is that.